Welcome to Wyverstone Peak. This is our mountains mega build for Wildlands. This massive build is 32 inches by 28 inches, plenty high. It's, I don't know, a foot high or something. It's all about verticality, right? It's for building dynamic vertical encounters, the sort of thing that you can't do on graph paper very easily. It's chock full of all sorts of cool mountain pieces, including big escarpments, cool ancient ruins, a giant waterfall, and floating driftstones. Let's go check out all the details. So we enter the build over here. Let's check out this first. Immediately we have this awesome array of archaic ruins. These were built by the Eladrin, ancient elves. We've got our straight, this thing, and these things are all 3 inches high, so they really kind of tower, tons dripping with detail on every side, and super weathered. So we got a couple of straights. We have a crumbled corner. We have a full corner. We have this big long crumble. And what's neat about this and the end pillar here is they fit together really nicely. So this is what it would be like if it was a thing. You can use this independently, you can use this independently, or you put them together for the ultimate continuous rune. So then, best of all, we have, this is the buttress, and this has removable, has an LED socket here, so you can mount any of your socket-mounted LED bits, and it has this arcane glow globe on there, delicate elven lantern, cool blue light. It also has a pull accessory hole down there, so you can accessorize it, give it a little extra character if you'd like. All right, so in the center of this place of power, we have a planar pylon. Cool arcane ruins, charged Wyverstone here, and it's remote control, so you can change the color with the remote. There's a variety of settings. You can go into like rave mode if you want. There's options. It's really cool for objective marker, MacGuffin, whatever. You'll find lots of cool uses for it. All right, so we've got a bunch of these big 6x6 mountain floors down here as a base. And then we have our first rise here. So there's a bunch of escarpments. We can work our way up around this. This thing is great. This is a winding stair escarpment. So this is this huge escarpment piece with ancient winding stairs in there. Work up, lots of playable space in there, and cool stairs. It's a nice transition up. And we'll work our way up to this level. So this is all up here is built on a single terrain tray with some stilts underneath it. And we've got another bunch of floors and then some trifecta ledges. We have almost all the trifecta ledges that correspond to the escarpments, so you can use them in line with the floors, or you can use them for negative space builds. They're sort of peppered all around here. And then over here we've got this, I love this thing. This is our end cap. This is, once again, some nice steps up. So one end terminates, let's see if I can get here. So this side lines up exactly with one of your escarpment pieces. And then the other side lines up 1 inch back. So you can use it if you want to do an offset by 1 inch, or you can use it with a 3x1, which is right next to it, like this, to do a curve. You can use the right and the left of these together to terminate one of these in an interesting way. And has a vertical rod port here, so you can use it to suspend a driftstone. Give you all sorts of cool vertical options. And at the end of this run, we have this 1x3 escarpment. Oh, I didn't say this is this next to it is the short escarpment. This thing is super useful for doing shorter runs. sculpted in the front of this short escarpment, there is a square rod port, which right now we're using round rods because it's hard to drill a square hole, but it's going to let you attach driftstones or little perches or whatnot there, little accessory port. All right, so working our way up here, what else do we have? We have every escarpment piece in here. Let's walk them through one at a time. We have the convex curve. This nice little guy. This one also has a square rod port, so you can attach a driftstone or something floating out off there. Lots of playable space on the top. Then on top of all of those, we have, this is the small stump lump for the mountains or the forest. Nice big beefy one, has modular stump top, so you can put in any of your modular trees. In this case, we have the small conifer. I'll take any of your old dread hollow trees. And it has a flat back, and this will have paired pegs, so you can attach a bridge, or this is a rocky overhang, or even the dock from Cabin's Deep. So working our way up to this, through this plateau, on the side here we have a couple of Erinthor expansion pieces. So first is just a little 1-inch cliff piece. So that plays with the rest of our older Erinthor pieces. It's only 1 inch long for fine, cool little fiddly advanced builds. And if you flip it upside down, the top, it makes this clean 1x1 square, so you can use it in line as like a pedestal. If you want to fill a gap, if you're doing a build and you need like just that 1 inch filled, you can use this thing. Then we have these 3 tiered pieces. So we have this tiered convex, this tiered concave, and this tiered straight. They're called tiered because they have like a little tier going up. They have a couple of layers to them, right? So this guy is a really nice corner. It works with your original Erinthor cliffs and also plays nicely with the escarpments. We have it, we'll show you when we get over there, we have it using it as a corner in among the escarpments. Also a great step for getting up cliffs. This is a concave, has a little playable dip there, or kind of a tough scramble here. It's double-sided, the dead side's on the back. So you can flip it either way for more organic-looking builds. And this guy is a tiered straight. This is a nice little gradual rise up for our original Erinthor pieces didn't really have good ways to get up. We had like 2 ramps and that was it. So it's like, and you can also, instead of just using it to step up, you can flip it upside down and it's a cantilevered overhang like that, to more danger lurking for your players. All right, so continuing to move along here, in the center of this plateau we have this cool little array here. So this is, let's start from the bottom. So starting from the bottom, we have, this is a little rock mound. It's very similar to the one we had in the original Erinthors, in that similar height, similar composition, and it's got a 90-degree, the backside is 90 degrees, so it can play up against, you can build 4 of them together, or you can play it up against any flat Erinthor cliff piece or the like. And one of the things that makes it special is it has a vertical rod port here, so you can use it as a base for driftstone. In this case, we have a medium driftstone on there. So this thing, look at this beautiful floating hunk of stone and Wyverstone. So it's neat about this thing, it's flat on the top, got less playable space up there. It's designed to take any of the teardrop inserts, can sit nicely on there in either orientation, so you can kind of decorate it up a little bit if you'd like. And you can flip it upside down and use it as scatter. It's nice and tall, breaks line of sight. And it has, working around it, it has some of our square horizontal rod port. So it's got a square rod port there, and a square rod port there, and a square rod port there. So you can use it to attach other drift stones or accessories, little suspended perch off the sides of that thing. So lots of versatility in this piece. And then moving our way up, we have a similar structure with a much larger set of pieces. So we'll start at the bottom again. Whoa. This is our stepped stump crag. So this thing, we actually, the very first episode of our Twitch show On the Anvil, you can see Eli sculpting this piece. This little moth here was a viewer request to add on there. And this thing has great playable space working its way up. It'll have, there's a paired pegs here for attaching a bridge or an overhang, paired pegs here for attaching a natural bridge, which we do later in this build. Cool little Wyverstone bits. Nice huge playable area up there. So that area is large enough to hold one of the small drift stones inverted, top of it like that. There's a stump growing out of the side of this, which takes any of our modular stump pieces. So in this case, we have the dead snag there, but you can put the conifer, whatever you want. And it has two square rod ports. It has one here and one here. You can attach a drift stone or a perch or something on the side of this thing. So there's lots of ways you can accessorize this thing. Oh, and it's designed to work with the Wyverstone spires. These guys sit in really nicely there too if you really want to use it to block the way. And it's flat, so you can, we have it here. We have this little rocky outcrop, goes up against it nicely, or any of the stump lumps play up against it nicely. Something like that. Awesome big old crag. And then on top of this crag, so we're using this thing, you know, it has a vertical rod port too. So we're using it to hold up, in this case with a 125 millimeter rod. We're using this to hold a large Wyverstone cluster. So this is similar to the medium one, but it's a lot bigger. Look at that footprint. And this thing is similar. It has a large rod port on the bottom. It has 3 horizontal square rod ports going around where you can attach drift stones to the like, and you can pop it out. Let's see that. And use it as a huge chunk of scatter there. Attached to it is a small drift stone. So similar to the other drift stones, it has a flat top, playable space. It has a vertical rod port in it, and on the sides it has 2 horizontal rod ports. And this is sized so that the mountain jumpy stone fits perfectly on top of it, like such, so you can give an alternate top to it, and you can flip it upside down and use it as scatter if you'd like. So in this case, using one of our horizontal rods, we've attached this to the side of our large drift stone, and we've got this guy, last but not least. This is the Wyverstone platform. So this is a big flat area with cool Wyverstone popping up, and it has a vertical rod port here. So once again, you can use it as a base for drift stones. And it's designed, it's got footprint, so it fits perfectly on top of this large drift stone. So you can accessorize this thing. Basically trying to make some really cool vertical platforming capabilities here, right? Like these are the kinds of builds, you can't do this on graph paper, right? This is like figuring out, you can have a player underneath and on top and a thing. You could put a monster nest up here, or archer, or a caster, or something crazy. PCs have to figure out how to platform their way up there, or deal with the ranged threats, or they're trying to jump from here to there. Or it gives you all sorts of really interesting, dynamic Z-axis excitement that is very hard to do on a flat dry erase mat or something. But like working our way around the rest of this thing, we have another Wyverstone platform. Oh, we got our large, let's look at this one. Got a large stump lump here. This is the mountain or forest large stump lump. It's a huge, big beefy one. Has a built-in large stump. It's got paired peg holes here, so you can attach a bridge or whatnot. And it takes any of our large trees. Like in this case, it's taking that large conifer, that beautiful evergreen. Look at all those sculpted pine needles. And then underneath this thing, let's see if I can sneak it out. This is, I think, our largest escarpment piece. This is the huge concave curve. Look at that thing. So it has this really cool ledge here, which is great playable space. It has a rod port over here, so you can have a driftstone floating out off the side of it, and it lines up with the rest of our escarpment pieces. And it's nestled up against one of our trifecta ledges. So the trifecta ledge fits into it, and it can build out the floor. If you want to build it in line with your floors, you pop that in, or you can use this for doing negative space, for like we have in the pond over there, or the bottom of the river over there. You can use it for building out rivers or ponds or lava pits or whatnot. Next to it, we have another trifecta piece. So this is the little, this is for the small convex. So that ledge fits up against this guy. And we have both forest ledges and mountain ledges. So if you want to transition this into your forest, you pop the forest ledge in. Instead, in this case, you can transition this into the rest of the mountains. And a little straight trifecta ledge for the short escarpment over there. And oh, look at the bottom of this little tiny little Wyverstone cluster. And this one doesn't have any regular stone around it, so you can use it anywhere. You could throw it in your dungeon, or you could throw it out in some grass or on the roof of your house or whatever. Yes, you could kind of put it anywhere you wanted. Now let's go back down and go check out the river area. So we're going to wander our way down here to the water's edge. We'll start at the front here with these big Wyverstone spires. So this is some huge towering chunks of Wyverstone, Wyvernium to the elves. And there's a vertical rod port here, so you can stick your driftstones in and use this as a base for your driftstones. Basically, we put a whole bunch of vertical rod ports and stuff, so you didn't have to use like clear acrylic bases. You could hover your driftstones on a bunch of the terrain, and it looks just even cooler. Plus, I guess if you wanted, you could stick it, port it in, you could flip it upside down and then put something else on top of it. Give you options. This trifecta ledge is for our big convex corner, which we haven't gotten to, so that it makes it into a full, complete, nice square for building up against floors. Oh, we didn't go on it. We have this stepped. We didn't look at this stepped. We had it over on the top of that Wyverstone over there, but we didn't look at it. So it's a teardrop insert, so it goes into your teardrop floor pieces that you find in the forest and in the swamp. And it has a nice playable space, little bits of Wyverstone. And if we can, we're going to put a vertical rod port in there, but I don't know if it's thick enough to do that. But we'd like to if we can make it happen. So these are all built on this terrain tray. This is I think it's a straight river on the other side, and then this is the river mouth. So it's for the bottom of a waterfall or the river spilling out into a big open lake. And then on our curved river terrain trays, the other side is open lake. So you can use the same set of terrain trays to build rivers going into lakes and onward like that. Over here, this guy, let's pop this thing under. So we have a regular small driftstone, medium driftstone, and they are hovering in this Oblong crag. So this Oblong crag is sort of the sister piece to the stepped Stump crag that we were looking at before. They actually nestle really nicely together. They're designed to sit side by side really nicely. It has a vertical rod port here, which we were using to hold up that driftstone. And it's got on this side, there's paired peg holes here. And it's also designed to kind of nestles up against a lot of pieces. Like we have this little guy, this is the crag step. The thing fits really nicely up against it. Where's there if you want to step up. Also the stepped teardrop insert fits right up against it. Also on the back. So lots of sort of ways to transition up and go back down, giving you, once again, fun, vertical, dynamic combat, breaks line of sight, etc., etc. And on the back of it, we have this suspended outcrop. I think we looked at that. Did we look at it before? I don't know. It's got a magnet on the back, and paired pegs, so you can use it to, you could, if we had the pegs in here, you could use the paired pegs to attach it here, and it becomes like a cantilevered overhang. The centerpiece of this is a modular waterfall. I think we'll have to do like a water walkthrough video for you to show how all that stuff works. So you'll have to probably wait for that to see me deconstruct this thing and show all the possibilities with this cool modular waterfall. And above it, we got two 6-inch river terrain trays flanked by, we're using trifecta ledges for negative space here. This is the one that goes with the straight escarpment. And then some Erinthor ledge pieces and 2x1 mountain floors. Then over here we have this nettle gorse. It's a great mountain shrub. It's super thorny, so it could, maybe it does damage to your players, or maybe it inhibits their movement. It could snag them and catch them. Little splash of dry yellow color. We got driftstones over here. This is a large driftstone and a medium driftstone inverted to use as scatter, because they just huge clumps of Wyverstone sticking out. They're just awesome. Then working our way back over here, we have a driftstone suspended. This one has the jumpy stone on top of it, the regular site. And then we have this cool natural bridge piece, which is suspended using the paired peg system. It's suspended between these two crags to span the waterfall, or the river, which leads to the waterfall. Well, let's head back down the river. Cross the water here. So there's a couple of ways to get across, right? You could jump across over here. You could sort of platform your way. That's a heck of a jump there. You could cross on the bridge. You can make this crazy leap. But if they can get over here, so on this side, this cliff here is made with one of the Oblong buttes. I've got a medium driftstone sticking out of there. We've got that left end cap piece. We didn't look at the right end cap piece yet, did we? I'm going to track one of those down. Oh, there's one over here. Actually, let's look at it right now. So this is the companion to this one. Right, we looked at this. Where am I going to hold these? Right here. They sit together nicely like this, or they sit together nice like this. You can use them to terminate an escarpment run that way, or put them together to make a hill. This one has paired pegs, so you can attach a bridge or an overhang, and it's also sized so that it'll take the Wyverstone spires really nicely either direction on there. Then under this guy we have the Hidey hole escarpment here. You know what? I think I'm gonna table it. Oh, this is the Erinthor tiered corner piece, which we're using as a little corner here. Underneath this thing, we got another driftstone. We have Hidey hole escarpment. So this is a crazy shaped piece. It's designed to fit with the cutout piece that flanks the waterfalls. In this case, I just took the 2x1 floors and I put a couple of those behind it to hold it up. And what's neat about it is it has a hidey hole that goes all the way through. See my little... And you can, if you don't want to use it as this cool little sort of hidden tunnel, you can take the crag step piece and, which way does it go? This way. That slides in there and can seal up the hidey hole, though there's a little tiny glimpse of it there. And then you can use this as a step up. It's great playable space. You can fit your 32mm Wargaming Mini on top of there. So, neat little piece, this escarpment. So this, the idea is that this cave leads out to this cave here. So this thing, let's take a look at this piece. So this is the concave. So it, as the name implies, it is a cave. Goes all the way through. It can be a cool tunnel. Can transition you into your caverns pieces. It sits really nicely up against the caverns passage pieces. Lots of neat little. It's got the feeling of our caverns deep caves inside. But it also, if you put pieces on either side of it, it works as a concave corner. Thus the name, the concave. And even better, it also works if you have a build and you want to use it, you can just use that as a solid pedestal there also. So it works as a solid elevated 3x3 and as a cave and as a concave corner. And it comes with So there's a little floor piece that pops in there to make it, if you want to line it up, build it in line with your floors, you can do that. And this floor piece has paired pegs on either side, so you can use it as a little miniature bridge. And we have, where's one? Oh, here. Yeah, let's pull this one. This one has the plug in it. So if you use the plug and the floor, and you can use it as a straight escarpment if you want. Also, because it doesn't, if you don't have the floor in it, you can use it inline on water. So it can be like a water tunnel going through a cliff or not, which is pretty neat. Or you could use it as a cave behind the waterfall if you want. A lot of fun options with this little concave. We use this thing, pops up all over the place in this build because it is so versatile. And I use it in all forms, right? In this case over here, it's supposed to be, we're using it as a solid wall. Over there, it is a concave corner. Over here, it is a cave. So then on top here, we've got, we have a swamp stump lump. So this is a smaller version of we have that large mountain stump or forest stump lump. This is the swamp one. It's a little smaller. Got some more plants on it. But it looks just at home in the mountains too, and it's topped with a small conifer. Got some more Wyverstone. Okay, we haven't looked at this yet. We've got a couple of these over here. This is the straight escarpment. Look at that big hefty piece. So this thing is equally at home right on top of the water or in your build. You can use your trifecta ledges up front if you want to build in line with your floors. And it has what will be right there? It will have a square rod port so you can attach your drift stones at the like. And they stack really nicely. I can go nice and big and vertical with those things. And they just so big in the hand, right? You're like, I want all these escarpments. They're huge. You just like, put them on the table. It's like very, very satisfying to build with. And then we're gonna work our way up here. We have more 6x6 mountain floors. We have this guy over here. This is the big convex corner. Look at that huge footprint. This is just another massive, massive piece. This has a square rod port here for attaching drift stones or little perches. And it's cut out here so that you can put, if you have 4 of them, you can put them around a 6x6 floor to make like a big plateau area or whatnot, or put a 3x3 floor in here, or put the concave in here to fill it out. Gives you more building options to have this cut out rather than it was being solid. And it's just another big, beautiful piece. And that has the trifecta ledge, the corresponding trifecta ledge for it. So you get a nice, if you want to build it in line with the floors, you can swap it out for a forest one. Coming up to the top of this thing, we have our final couple of pieces. We have the Oracle Pool here. Ooh, Oracle Pool, what do you tell me? Oracle Pool tells me this is a cool build. The Oracle Pool knows everything. So we have, this is the Saluting Seraph. It's a pole accessory. Toby calls her the Kung Fu Angel or something. The Karate Angel. She's got her leg up. She's got a veil on, so there's 4 of them around, so you can swap out the style of this using our pole accessory holes. And since it's swirling energy vortex there, you can pop it out. So you can put that anywhere you want. You can put this anywhere you want. It's 5 inches in diameter, and it'll have a couple of other uses we'll show later in the campaign. Boom, so this is the big MacGuffin, the big destination. Your players are trying to fight their way through this whole thing to get here. And that's it. There's a few other surprises up our sleeves for this one, but these are all the basics. And this was Wyverstone Peak, our Mountains Mega Pledge in our Wildlands Kickstarter, which is live now until September 2nd. So make sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss out on any of our Wildlands updates. And with that, I'm going to get lost in the wild.